Madam abeg, you get dat fine Ankara wey dem dey call Queen of Roses? Aisha asked, licking mango juice from her fingers. Oseme barely heard her. The scent of the mango was intoxicating, but it was the flies that made her stomach twist in agony. She was starving. She could feel the beast inside her stir, clawing to be fed. A fly landed on the counter. Before she could stop herself, her tongue flicked out, snatching it in an instant. Aisha blinked. Eh? Osame's heart pounded. She forced a smile, her lips stretching too wide. Nothing, my dear. The cloth dey here. She pulled out a bolt of fabric, her hands trembling. Lagos Island was a place of endless hustle, where the streets pulsed with life and traders called out to passers-by in sharp rhythmic tones. Fabric shops lined the roads, their colorful displays spilling onto the pavements, shimmering like the waters of the Lagos Lagoon. In the heart of this marketplace stood Oseme Fabrics, a shop that had grown from an obscure corner store to a household name within months. But behind its success was a dark secret, one known only to its owner, Madam Oseme. Madam Oseme had come to Lagos full of dreams. She had spent her savings on securing a prime location in BalogunMarket, believing her high-quality fabrics and eye for fashion would set her apart. But months passed and sales remained sluggish. She watched other traders studying their methods. Some danced and sang to attract customers, others whispered enticing deals. There were those who had personnel stand by the road to direct people to their shop, while others gave light refreshments to potential customers to draw them in. But nothing worked for her. The competition was fierce, and she began to despair. One evening, after closing another fruitless day, she sat in her shop, head in her hands. That was when Izehi, an old friend from her village, walked in. Oseme, my sister, why you dey like dis? Izehi asked, perching on his stool. Oseme sighed. Izehi e no easy. I don try everything. I even price my fabric cheaper pass others, but customers no dey come. Izehi's eyes darted around before she leaned in. You dey do business like mumu. You think say na only cloth dem dey sell for dis market? Lagos business get another level, my sister. Oseme frowned. Wetin you mean? Izehi glanced at the entrance, ensuring they were alone. Then she lowered her voice. I go carry you go meet Baba Ashina. He go help you, but make sure say your mind strong. Na people wey get mind dey go there, and na dem dey make am. Oseme hesitated but nodded. She had no other choice, or so she believed. Ogenekewe, her other friend, had suggested going to a pastor for prayers, but she did not want to close her shop for the hours the pastor had assigned for the prayer meetings. Her shop was already in a bad place. She was not going to endanger the business further by closing the door when it should be open. So she made up her mind to try what Izehi suggested. That night, they traveled deep into a hidden part of Lagos, where the city's bright lights gave way to shadows. Baba Ashina was an old man with sunken eyes and a voice that slithered like a snake. He knew what they had come for before they spoke. People only came to find him for such. You want power, he murmured, stroking a wooden staff. But power comes with sacrifice. I go do anything, Baba, Oseme whispered, desperation tightening her chest. Baba Ashina grinned, revealing yellow teeth. Drink this. He handed her a small black gourd filled with dark, thick, bitter liquid. She swallowed it down, and the word blood. Her body burned, stretched, and twisted. Her skin rippled, turning rough beneath her clothes. She felt something slithering beneath her flesh, and then darkness. When she woke up, she was in her shop, but something had changed. The air smelled different, thicker and more vibrant. The sounds of the market rang sharper in her ears. When she touched her skin, it felt the same. Yet beneath it, she sensed something else, something crawling. Confused as she was excited at her heightened senses and the way people interacted with her more. From that day, business flourished. Customers swarmed in, enchanted by her fabrics. People claimed her shop had the best prices, the finest materials, and an irresistible pull that kept them returning. Even the richest women of Lagos now whispered her name when looking for exclusive materials. "Just go to Oseme Fabrics" was a common saying. Some didn't even bother going to the market anymore. They simply called in their order and she delivered. Her shop expanded, she hired staff, and Oseme Fabrics became a name in everyone's mouth when they spoke of fabrics and Lagos Island markets. But with power came hunger. Not the hunger as we know it, but hunger to feed the source of the power, the being that had taken over. At first, it was subtle. She couldn't eat normal food. Everything tasted like dust. But at night, when the shop was closed, she would crouch in the dark, her long forked tongue flickering out to catch the insects that buzzed in the humid air. She no longer slept, she only waited for the next day to begin again. And each time she blinked, her eyes changed, shifting into something slitted, something cold-blooded. Fear gripped her as she wondered what was happening to her. She recalled that the first time she felt something slithering within her was after her visit to Baba Ashino. So one evening, Madam Oseme closed earlier and went to visit Baba. She greeted the old man, and as she sat down, Baba Ashino said, "You have come with a question." Oseme, surprised and happy, said, "Yes, Baba. You want to know why you do some things you shouldn't?" Again, surprised, she answered, "Yes, Baba. I told you that what you sought came with a price. You have to give something to get another," Baba Ashina explained. "But Baba, I no longer eat proper food, and I have a very long tongue," she started to explain, but was cut off by Baba Ashina. "You eat, but not what you consider proper food. The tongue helps you catch your food," he said. "How long will this be?" Oseme asked. "The trade is permanent," Baba answered. "Can I exchange this for something else?" Oseme probed further. "I do not choose what is taken or what is given in its place," Baba explained. "The spirits that give the power decide, and when it is done, it is done." Oseme thanked Baba Ashino and went home. She knew this was her new reality. That night, she stood before her mirror after she had taken a bath, and she saw her true form in the mirror. This terrified her, but there was nothing else she could do but to live with it. She must guard this secret with her life. One humid afternoon, a young woman named Aisha strolled into Oseme Fabrics, eating a ripe golden mango. The sweet scent filled the shop, and immediately flies gathered around her sticky fingers. "Madam, abeg, you get dat fine Ankara wey dem dey call Queen of Roses?" Aisha asked, licking mango juice from her fingers. Oseme barely heard her. The scent of the mango was intoxicating, but it was the flies that made her stomach twist in agony. She was starving. She could feel the beast inside her stir, clawing to be fed. A fly landed on the counter. Before she could stop herself, Her tongue flicked out, snatching it in an instant. Aisha blinked. Eh? Osame's heart pounded. She forced a smile, her lips stretching too wide. Nothing, my dear. The cloth dey here. She pulled out a bolt of fabric, her hands trembling. Aisha eyed her warily, but reached for the fabric. Another flight buzzed close, and Osame's vision sharpened. She could see every beat of its wings, every twitch of his tiny legs. Her mouth watered. Aisha took a step back. Madam, wetin dey do your eye? Oseme realized too late that her disguise was slipping. She turned quickly, pretending to adjust a stack of lace, but she could feel her skin shifting, her tongue itching to dart out again. She had to control herself. Aisha, sensing something unnatural, edged toward the door. I go come back later. She hurried out, leaving Oseme standing in the shop, breath heaving, hands gripping the counter. She needed to feed, and she needed to do it now. That night, she left her shop and disappeared into the alleys. The hunger had taken over. She shed her human skin like a cloak, stepping fully into her true form, a massive, scaled creature with glowing yellow eyes. Her long claws clicked against the pavement as she slithered through the market, searching for prey. But the city never slept, and whispers spread quickly. Traders who had always suspected something unnatural about Oseme fabrics began to talk. The woman who never ate, who never seemed to age, whose shop always thrived while others struggled, now seen stalking the streets at night, hunting. One morning, Izehi rushed into Oseme's shop, her face tight with fear. Then they talk for market say dem see big lizard creature yesterday night. Some people dey suspect say na you. Oseme scoffed, but deep inside she knew it was over. The city was watching her now, and Lagos did not forgive abominations. That evening, as she locked up, she sensed something outside, many eyes waiting. Then came the sound of footsteps growing closer, and the hiss of a hunter's blade being drawn. What happened next? No one could say for sure. Some claimed she vanished, leaving only an empty shop behind. Others whispered that a massive lizard had been found crushed in the gutters the next morning, his eyes still glowing faintly in the dawn. But Oseme fabrics remained closed forever, and those who walked past at night swore they could still hear the faint rustling of scales in the dark.